Hello, curious minds. Welcome back to ProjexCellence ProDigy, your one-stop solution for project management and mechanical engineering concepts. I'm Govind, a certified PMP and a mechanical engineering professional. In our last lesson, we understood the Otto cycle, the fundamental working principle of petrol engines, where fuel is ignited using a spark plug. But have you ever wondered, what if we don't use a spark at all? What if fuel can ignite automatically just by compression? That's exactly what happens in diesel engines. So in today's lesson, we will focus on the diesel cycle, the working principle of compression ignition engines, which are widely used in trucks, buses and power generators. Let's break it down step by step in the simplest way. Diesel cycle, we call it constant pressure cycle. It was first proposed and developed by Rudolf Diesel, a German mechanical engineer in the late 19th century. At that time, most engines, like those based on the Nicholas Otto cycle, used spark ignition. But Rudolf Diesel thought differently. What if we compress air so much that fuel ignites on its own? And that's exactly what he did. He used very high compression, so no spark plug was needed and fuel ignites automatically. And that single idea changed the world of engines forever. Diesel cycle represents the ideal thermodynamic model of a compression ignition engine. When we say diesel cycle is an ideal thermodynamic model, we are not talking about a real engine. We are talking about a perfect engine with no heat loss, no friction, and perfect combustion. It helps engineers understand the maximum possible efficiency and compare it with real engine performance. In diesel cycle, heat addition occurs at constant pressure. This is why it is also called the constant pressure cycle. Let's understand the processes. Process 621, intake stroke. Here, the piston moves from TDC to BDC, creating space inside the cylinder. Fresh air enters through the intake valves. And since this air comes directly from the atmosphere, the pressure inside remains almost constant. That's why this process is called a constant pressure intake process. Next process is 1 to 2, isentropic compression. We can see here on the graph. At this stage, the piston is at BDC, bottom dead center, filled with fresh air. As the piston moves upward towards the TDC, the air inside the cylinder is compressed. And because of this compression, pressure increases sharply and temperature rises significantly. This temperature rise is very important because it prepares the air for self-ignition of fuel. This process is called isentropic. That means two things. First, it is adiabatic. No heat enters or leaves the system. Second, it is reversible, meaning no energy losses. So in this ideal process, all the work done on the air is perfectly converted into internal energy. Now let's understand process 2 to 3, constant pressure heat addition. At this stage, air inside the cylinder is already highly compressed and very hot. Now fuel is injected into this hot air. And because of this high temperature, the fuel auto ignites immediately without any spark plug. Combustion begins. But here is the key point. It does not happen instantly. It happens gradually. As combustion continues, heat is added to the system. And here, pressure remains almost constant. At the same time, temperature rises to its maximum value. Process 3 to 4, isentropic expansion, also known as power stroke. At this stage, combustion is complete and the gases inside the cylinder are at very high temperature and pressure. These hot gases now start expanding. As they expand, they push the piston downward from TDC to BDC. This downward movement is very important because this is where the engine actually produces useful work. The expanding gases apply force on the piston, which rotates the crankshaft and generates power. This process is also called isentropic. That means no heat is added or removed and no energy losses are assumed. So all the energy from the hot gases is used to do work on the piston. As a result, volume increases and pressure decreases and temperature also decreases. Next, process 4 to 5, constant volume heat rejection. At the end of the power stroke, the piston reaches BDC. At this point, the exhaust valve opens and high pressure gases escape rapidly. This is called blowdown. Here, the piston remains momentarily stationary, so the volume inside the cylinder does not change. As heat is removed, both temperature and pressure decrease. Process 5 to 6, constant pressure exhaust stroke. During the exhaust stroke, the piston moves upward from BDC to TDC, pushing the remaining gases out of the cylinder. Since the exhaust valve is open, the pressure remains nearly atmospheric. During this stroke, the piston is doing work on the gases, but this is not the useful work. It is called negative work or pumping work. Its purpose is simple: to clear the cylinder and prepare it for the next cycle. So diesel cycle is a continuous loop of energy conversion where air is compressed, fuel is burned and useful work is produced. Just to take a quick recap, 1 to 2 is isentropic compression. Air is compressed, pressure goes up, temperature goes up. 2 to 3 is constant pressure heat addition. Fuel injected and burned. Volume goes up, temperature goes up and pressure remains constant. 3 to 4 isentropic expansion or power stroke. Here hot gases expand, work produced, pressure goes down and temperature goes down. 4 to 5 is constant volume heat rejection or blowdown. Here heat is removed, pressure goes down, temperature goes down, but volume is constant. 5 to 6 exhaust stroke, the constant pressure. Burnt gas is expelled and this is the negative work. So pressure is almost atmospheric. And 6 to 1 again intake stroke, constant pressure. Fresh air enters and the system resets for next cycle. Now let's understand the temperature entropy diagram of the diesel cycle. On this diagram, the vertical axis represents temperature and the horizontal axis represents entropy, S. First, from 1 to 2, we have isentropic compression. So here, this is a vertical line upward, which means entropy remains constant, but temperature increases. Next, from 2 to 3, heat is added at constant pressure. Here, both temperature and entropy increase, so the curve moves upward and to the right. Then from 3 to 4, we have isentropic expansion or power stroke. Again, here on TS diagram, we have a vertical line, but now moving downward, meaning temperature decreases while entropy remains constant. Finally, from 4 to 1, heat is rejected. So both temperature and entropy decrease and the curve moves downward and to the left. Here, during process 2 to 3, the area under this curve, this complete area, gives us the heat added to the system. And during process 4 to 1, here, the area under this curve, this one, represents the heat rejected. Now if we take the difference between these two areas, so the area enclosed with this cycle represents the net work output of the engine. Next topic is thermal efficiency of diesel cycle. Thermal efficiency is work done divided by heat supplied, and work done is heat supplied minus heat rejection. So efficiency will be heat supplied minus heat rejection divided by heat supplied. QS minus QR divided by QS. From PV diagram we can see heat is added during process 2 to 3, and this happens at constant pressure. So heat equation will be mCp T3 minus T2. Here T3 minus T2. And heat rejection happens during process 4 to 5 at constant volume. So heat equation will be QR is equal to mCv T4 minus T1. Here T4 minus T1. If we substitute both QS and QR to this formula, so efficiency will be mCp T3 minus T2 minus mCv T4 minus T1 whole divided by mCp T3 minus T2. After simplifying it further, we get the efficiency formula 1 minus Cv T4 minus T1 divided by Cp T3 minus T2. And here we know Cp divided by Cp is equal to gamma. So Cv divided by Cp becomes 1 over gamma. So finally efficiency will be 1 minus T4 minus T1 whole divided by gamma into T3 minus T2. And we will simplify it further. Now we know two important ratios. Compression ratio R, which is V1 divided by V2. V1 is the total volume and V2 is clearance volume. And second ratio is cutoff ratio. We denote it with rho, which is equal to V3 divided by V2 here, which means how long fuel is injected into the combustion chamber. Next, we know that process 1 to 2 is isentropic compression here, which means we can apply the relation TV raised to power gamma minus 1 is equal to constant. So here for the process 1 to 2, the equation will be T2 divided by T1 is equal to V1 divided by V2 whole raised to power gamma minus 1. Here we know V1 divided by V2 is R, which is compression ratio. So we can replace it here. So it will become T2 divided by T1 is equal to R raised to power gamma minus 1. So from here we can write T2 is equal to T1 into R raised to power gamma minus 1. Process 2 to 3 is constant pressure heat addition here. And at constant pressure, the relationship will be T3 divided by T2 is equal to V3 divided by V2. And V3 divided by V2, we can write it as rho from here, cutoff ratio. So equation will be T3 is equal to rho T2. And we can put the value of T2 from here. So it will be T3 is equal to rho T1 R raised to power gamma minus 1. Process 3 to 4 is isentropic compression. And we know the relationship of isentropic compression is TV raised to power gamma minus 1 is equal to constant. So for process 3 to 4, the equation will be T3 divided by T4 is equal to V4 divided by V3 whole raised to power gamma minus 1. Now, this V4 we can replace with V1. Here, the same volume. And V3 we can replace with rho V2 from this cutoff ratio. V3 is equal to rho V2. And further, we know V1 divided by V2 is R, compression ratio. So the equation will be T3 divided by T4 is equal to R divided by rho raised to power gamma minus 1. we can rewrite the equation in this form. T4 is equal to T3 rho divided by R whole raised to power gamma minus 1. And T3 value we derived in last slide. T3 is equal to rho T2, which was rho T1 R raised to power gamma minus 1. So this value we can put it here. So T4 will become rho T1 R raised to power gamma minus 1 rho divided by R whole raised to power gamma minus 1. If we simplify it further, so T4 value we get T1 rho raised to power gamma. This is our efficiency equation we derived in previous slides. So here we try to simplify it further. T4 minus T1 is equal to T4 value is here. So T1 rho raised to power gamma minus T1. So we will simplify, so it will become T1 rho raised to power gamma minus 1. Similarly, for T3 minus T2, so T3 value is here. So we can put it here, minus T2 value is here. So we will get outcome T1 R raised to power gamma minus 1 into rho minus 1. If we substitute these values T4 minus T1 and T3 minus T2 in this efficiency equation, so after simplifying it, we get the final formula of efficiency. Efficiency of diesel engine is 1 minus 1 divided by R raised to power gamma minus 1 into rho raised to power gamma minus 1 whole divided by gamma into rho minus 1. If we see this formula, thermal efficiency of diesel engine depends on three key parameters: compression ratio R, cutoff ratio rho, and specific heat ratio gamma. Higher compression ratio increases efficiency, while higher cutoff ratio reduces efficiency. Another thing you may notice here, if you recall Otto cycle thermal efficiency from our last lesson, so it was similar to this term. Efficiency of Otto cycle is 1 minus 1 divided by R raised to power gamma minus 1. So here in the diesel cycle efficiency, we have this extra factor, rho raised to power gamma minus 1 divided by gamma into rho minus 1. And this is the key point. This factor is always greater than 1 because rho, the cutoff ratio, is always greater than 1 and gamma is also greater than 1. So what happens in diesel cycle? We are subtracting a large value from 1. That means the final efficiency becomes lower. That's why for the same compression ratio, Otto cycle is more efficient than diesel cycle. So to conclude today's lesson, the diesel cycle explains how engines convert fuel into useful work through four key processes: compression, heat addition, expansion, and heat rejection. Heat is added at constant pressure, which makes the diesel cycle different from the Otto cycle. Its efficiency depends on compression ratio R, cutoff ratio rho, and specific heat ratio gamma. Higher compression ratio increases efficiency, while higher cutoff ratio reduces it. And for the same compression ratio, Otto cycle is more efficient than diesel cycle. If you found this lesson useful, please like, share and subscribe to ProjexCellence ProDigy. Till next time, namaste, goodbye, sampai jumpa.